Hello everyone! In this video we are going to explore the four different types or categories of our Linux commands. So far in this course we have learned a good chunk of Linux commands, but now you have to understand that there are four different categories of our Linux commands. So any Linux command can be one of the following four different categories or types. So the first category is executable programs. So there are many Linux commands that are actually executable program, just like any program, right? And they are found inside of your bin directory, or it can be also found in the user bin directory. So this is where you can find the executable programs, right? Okay, and one of the most famous executable command is actually the cp command that you use to copy your files. Okay, another category, so another type of commands is a shell built-in. So a command can actually be built inside of your shell. So our default shell here, which is bash, stands for born again shell. It has many different built-in commands, and one of the most famous built-in commands is your lovely cd command that you use to change between your directories. And now the third category or type is shell scripts. So we did not talk about them yet, but you have probably heard about shell scripts. So shell scripts are just like files that contains code, right? And we will devote an entire section just talking about and writing shell scripts. So for now you don't need to worry about them that much, but all you need to know is that a command can actually be a shell script. And also they can be found anywhere, but most commonly they'll be found in your binary directory and your user bin directory. So this is the user bin directory, and here they can also be found here. So as you can see here, cp for example is an executable program, but here you can see many different files, right? So actually they differ in appearance. So these are shell scripts, but these guys here are files. So all these guys that have diamond shape, they are commands, executable programs, but all these guys that are like that are actually shell scripts. And if you open them, you will see some code, so like a for loop or and you have an if statement here, etc. Okay, so the last category or type is the alias type, and this is by far my favorite category, and I'll tell you why. Because you can actually define or create your own commands, so you can make your own commands in Linux, and this is the power of Linux, right? So formally, an alias is a command that you can define yourself, or it's a command that we can define ourselves, and it is usually built from other commands. And one of the most famous aliased commands is the ls command, and we will see how to create our own commands very soon in this course, so stay tuned. So now let's get to business. So now what if you want, so given a command, how would you identify the command type? So now you know that there are four different types or categories, right? How would you know which command is of what type? This is very simple. You can use the type command. So if you set type here and then you specify your command name and then you execute, you can know your command type. But there is one thing that you need to be careful with, and I'll tell you now, and I'll tell you like just 1 minute from now. But for now you can use, for example, type cd, and it will tell you that cd is a shell built-in command. You can even say type ls, and it will tell you that ls is actually aliased, so it is built from another command which happens to be ls itself, but with another option. So dash dash color equal auto. This actually means that it makes the ls appearance colorful, you know. So if you go to desktop, if you go to your root directory and you type ls, as you can see, we have different colors here. This is because ls itself is aliased to this option, which is color. So it makes it's easy for users to see different colors and for different files, and this is why ls is aliased to the color option of the ls. Anyway, let's go back to our desktop. So now you know that cd is a shell built-in command, and you know that ls is and you know that ls is an alias command. Awesome. So now we have two remaining categories, right? The executable programs and the shell scripts. So now if you said type and then cp, it will output the path or the absolute path of the cp. So it will tell you cp is /bin/cp. So basically it outputs the absolute path of your command here. However, now for example, bzdiff is a shell script, right? So if you said type bzdiff, it will do the same thing. So it will output the absolute path of your bzdiff shell script. So here's the problem. Although cp is an executable program and bzdiff is a shell script, so as you can see here, cp is an executable program and bzdiff is a shell script, and so as you can see, here's a diamond shape and here's a file, right? This is a program and this is a file or a shell script. However, if you use the type command, they will basically just output the absolute path for both of these categories. So the problem with type command is that it cannot really differentiate between an executable program and a shell script. However, we can overcome this problem by using another command that we have learned before, and you have probably guessed it right now. Yes, it is the file command. However, if you just say file cp, it will not work. You have to specify where is the cp command. So if you said file /bin/cp, now it will tell you that cp is executable, as you can see, command. And now if you said file bin bzdiff, now it will tell you that bzdiff is actually a shell script. So you can finally differentiate or distinguish between the cp command, which is actually an executable program, and the bzdiff command with bzdiff, which is a shell script. Awesome. And here's another funny thing. You can use type and this will tell you that type itself is a shell built-in command. So let's do it again. Type date. Okay, it will just output the absolute path name of the date, but now you have to make sure whether date is actually a shell script or an executable program. So you use the file command. So file date. Awesome. So executable, and file, another one which is other shell script, bzexe. It will tell you shell script, and type ls. ls is an alias command. Okay, so yeah, so that's it. Now you can use the combination of these two commands, the type and the file, to reveal the command type or the command category. And this is very useful. Now you actually know that our commands are of 4 different categories or types. I will do one last example here, which is the hardest one. So as I told you from the beginning that executable programs can be found in your bin directory or your user bin directory. So far I have been using the bin directory, but now I will actually use the user bin directory. So in your user bin directory you can find, for example, the cal command, the calendar command. So if you said here type cal, as you can see it will tell you cal is, and it will output it will output the path or the absolute path of your cal command. However, I'm not sure whether cal is a shell script or is an executable program, so I use the file command, but I have to specify the absolute path name. So I will say user bin and then cal. However, now it tells me that cal itself, the command cal, is a symbolic link to ncal. So I go further and say, okay, let's see. So here I type ncal now, and finally it tells me that ncal is an executable program. So basically the cal command that I have here is a symbolic link to an executable program that is called ncal. So as you can see, this is like too much now, right? Okay, so our commands themselves can be links. They can be links to another commands. So that's one concept that I want you guys to know. And as you can see, we're getting to more advanced concepts here, but they are very, very useful and helpful. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Ciao!